You could be throwing away the dynamic range that you paid thousands of dollars for. You see, most photographers, when they're testing dynamic range of a camera, they'll turn their exposure way down, maybe 6, 7, 8 stops, take the shot, and then try and pull up the shadows in post-production to see how well it does. While this is good for testing part of your dynamic range, it leaves the other half on the table. In today's video, I'm exploring Salt Springs State Park in frozen conditions to see if I could find some compositions. But along the way, I'm going to explore and share some important information that can help you get more out of your camera's dynamic range. Information that I just recently became aware of after 14 years of photography. So sit back, relax, and join me for this adventure. Okay, I think I found my first shot. Right here. There. All right, we're gonna check. I wanna know when I get the blinkies on the screen, if I still get those blinkies in Lightroom. So I made it brighter. I wonder if I should show what I'm showing here. Preview, any blinkies? I still don't see any. We're gonna go a little bit brighter. This one is 1/15 of a second. Why do I still not see blinkies? I'm surely overblown on that. That could be turned off on my camera. Let me go to image review. Besides grabbing, yeah, slideshow preview. Oh, highlight alert, enable. There we go. Let's try this again. 1/15 of a second, review. And I got lots of blinky, the whole lower area. All right, let me get my camera. And let's point it right toward the center of that. I don't know if you can see it. You know what? This is why I have my cell phone. All right. So you can see here how many blinkies I have on that one. Now we're going to slow down the shutter, or increase the shutter speed so it's not quite as bright. Let's take another photo. This is 1/25th of a second. And I have a couple blinkies up on the waterfall. We will show you that so you can see. Let me focus here. It's not very bright. Try this. There we go. So you can see them blinkies. 1/30th of a second. Play. Here you can see we still have just a little bit up in the waterfall. We're going to see how well we can recover that. Now the question is, do I want to shoot one for the shadows? I'm going to, just in case. Now I am shooting RAW and JPEG. The blinkies might be off of what it's shooting for JPEG. So here I'm in Lightroom and I've got the images here. Right now I'm just hovering looking for the correct image that I wanted to first compare. And I forgot that I had the file name up in the upper left. So anyway, you can see this one is 1/25th of a second. I've got a small portion on the waterfall that's blown out. And so I'm reducing the highlights. And I quickly realized that that's a direct reflection of the sun. And it's gonna take a lot to remove that, so I wasn't too worried about it. So then I went over to the JPEG image. You can see all the blown out areas. This one also 1/25th of a second. Only difference on this one is it's a JPEG instead of a RAW image. And as I reduce the exposure, you can see it, you completely lose the detail all in these areas here. There's no recovering that. So then I went to the next one. This RAW file, there's quite a bit of blinkies on this screen here, 1/15th of a second. And all this area in red. And when I reduce that exposure, you can see here that all those areas came back. All the details still there. Yep, so, all right, this JPEG, same one, 1/15th of a second, but this one really has a lot of red on it. Almost the whole lower half. So we try and reduce the exposure and all that detail is gone. There's no recovering that. This really shows that if you want to be able to recover any highlights, you really need to shoot RAW instead of JPEG. All right. I think I want to shoot that waterfall up there with the light sunlight hitting it, maybe with my 50mm, because the 14-35 and the 50mm are the only two lenses I brought today. I think I'm done with this composition. So let's relocate. See if we can get those frozen falls in the shot. We're gonna go check this out. Maybe I can walk up that. I have everything packed up, so I have my hands free, except for the action camera. And if my foot goes in the water, well, it's not a long walk back to the car, so I'll live. Doing good so far. Hey, we made it. Not sure I see a composition here though. Not sure that stick works. Always remember to look behind you so you don't miss a good composition. You never know. I like that pool of ice. If I can get that in the foreground with that ice in the background. Oh, too many footprints in the snow over there. And I don't know that I can get that in the foreground because there's a hill next to it. Careful where you step here. Oh, no, that's not bad from up here. That's not bad. A lot of footprints in the snow though. Let's keep looking. All right, let's walk up this path. I don't know how far I've gone this way before. Probably not very. Hey, snow angel. Hey, there's a road. Yeah, I definitely never been this far before. I've probably driven across the bridge before. And that was the Gorge Trail. There's the path over there. Oh, wait a minute. Wonder how a shot under the trees would be. Kind of like that. It's dark, moody. I don't know. Might be worth it. Maybe from over here, if I don't fall in. You know what? I'm gonna get out my 50 mil. Let's do this. About like that. About that high. I'll have to check it with the camera now. Let's see, we need to come up more. Yep, let's take it up a little bit. About that far. Let's see what that looks like. We're looking right about there. All right. So we gotta drop the f-stop down. We're gonna go 1.2. Focus out there. Faster shutter speed. You know what? I don't need 1.2. 2.5. All right, we're gonna take one for the dark, one for the light. So 1/250th, f2.5, ISO 100. We're going to go right there. We're going to focus in third of the way into the scene. I don't know if it's going to get everything sharp. We're going to take a test shot. View it, zoom in. All right, where it focused is good, but everything in the back is way out of focus. But if I wanted to do that, what do I want to focus on? I think the trees in the background that are leaning towards each other is where I want to focus. So let's refocus right there. Do that again. All right. Zoom in. The trees I'm focusing on are sharp. The near tree is very out of focus. The other nearby trees, you know what? They could be more out of focus. So I'm going to more intentionally make them out of focus. 1.4. I need to increase the shutter speed a bit, bring that exposure down right about there. We're going to give that a shot. Now let's see, if I zoom in, those are sharp. If I come over here to the side trees, they're slightly blurry. That's what I wanted. Looking good. So now I'm wondering if there's a photo here. There might be. Let's see what we could do with it. 50 mil might be oh, this might work if we could focus down in the hole. Awful dark down there. We're going to really slow it down. F12, F11. We're going to start with a 1/8. I like where it's at right now. We're going to start with 1/8 of a second, f11. And now, a little bit brighter to get some of the water inside that hole. I don't know if it'll show any movement at all because it's pretty dark in there. Now we're up to 1 second. That might get some movement. Let's take a review. Don't know if the sun's going to come back up, out, but we will see. In the meantime, continue walking. A little bit of sun up there on that tree. Now this rock up here is interesting. You probably won't be able to see with this camera, so I may have to switch to my other one. I don't know if you could see them. All the coins. Those are all coins, etched in, dug in, placed into the cracks of this Pennsylvania bluestone. All over. So if you come to Salt Springs State Park, bring a penny, put a penny in the rock. See a couple pennies in the corner there.
When you see the blinkies, if you're shooting raw, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're overexposing it, because you can pull them back in Lightroom. Those blinkies, the overexposure warning on your image preview on your camera, that's looking at the JPEG version of that raw file to produce those blinkies. So just remember that as you're taking your images out in the field. If you see the blinkies but you're shooting raw, a few blinkies is okay. You can still recover that detail.
I appreciate you all coming along with me for this little adventure to Salt Springs State Park up in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'll put a pin on a map and show it up on screen just so you can see where it is. And hopefully watching the video here today can give you a little insight on how I go about taking photos, looking for compositions. Now granted, the waterfall photos are a little bit different when everything's frozen, because you don't have to worry about trying to slow down your shutter speed. I did have my filters with me. I was hoping to see some movement, but everything was frozen still, so we just did what we needed and we didn't need the filters. So join me for my next adventure. See you later.